This incubator in the local market in Burkina Faso cost at least $3,000, but I was able to buy it and ship it to Ouagadougou for less than $2,000. This end tractor also cost about $3,000 on the local market, but this one cost me a total of $1,500. This is a brand new 24 kilowatt power generator that cost me a total of $6,000 including shipping. The same one used, not new, will cost me about $10,000 on the local market. I purchased all these equipment on Alibaba and had them shipped from various cities in China to Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. Some of you have asked how I did it, so in this video I want to show you how you can buy goods on Alibaba and have them shipped to your country in Africa. I am not talking about buying goods to resell, although you can do that if you like. I am talking about buying equipment for your business, especially farming equipment. As I discussed in a previous video, limited uses of machinery in agriculture is one of the root causes of the low production in the sector on the continent. So for those of us who are investing in agriculture in Africa, it is important to purchase small farming equipment because they will increase productivity on our farms. And there is no better place to buy cheap and efficient equipment than Alibaba. Here's a quick background story about why I started to buy my equipment on Alibaba. When we found water on the farm and needed to make all the installation, I was quoted $5,000 for the pumping system. Included in the quotation was a brand name solar pump that cost about $2,000. When I saw that, I was like, nah, there had to be cheaper alternatives. So I asked for the price of a no-brand solar pump made in China and was quoted almost $1,000. That's when I decided to go look for myself on Alibaba, and I was shocked. The same pump was being sold at less than $200. Right there and then, I ordered the pump and had it shipped to Ouagadougou for a grand total of $250. From there on, I ordered almost all my equipment myself directly from Alibaba. The resellers in my country, and probably your country as well, buy the same equipment in China, then resell them at exorbitant prices in the local market. So I could not have possibly started my project with all these equipment if I had purchased them locally. That is why you should also consider buying your equipment directly from China. But there are tons and tons of goods on Alibaba, so it could be very daunting, especially if it's your first time. But you shouldn't be afraid. There is nothing to be afraid of. So to find what you want on Alibaba, you can do one of two things. One, you can request for a quote by writing what you are looking for and letting suppliers make you proposals. I don't find this option useful because you will receive quotations that are all over the place and you can easily get lost. Two, you can search and browse yourself and contact a few suppliers to discuss. This is my preferred option, but it does take a lot of time and requires a lot of patience. The most important thing is that you need to make sure that you do some research on the product you are looking for. Know the characteristics so that you can ask the right questions and buy the correct equipment. Talk to a technician in your home country to confirm technical specification before you make the purchase. I made a big mistake by buying a single-phase power generator and a three-phase grinder and mixer because I didn't know the difference between a single-phase and a three-phase generator. In the end, I had to buy an expensive converter to be able to power the grinder and mixer. So I could have saved some money if I had asked the technician before buying the generator. Let's say you want to acquire a grinder and mixer. Search grinder and mixer and browse the results. You can be more precise by searching grinder and mixer for animal feed. I personally look for mature suppliers, so I look for those that have been on Alibaba for at least 5 years. Then I only consider those within my budget. But know that the listed price is rarely the price you will be quoted. Actually, I have never paid the listed price. So just use it as an indication. Then contact the sell agents and ask them about the product you like. All the agents speak pretty good English and most of them are quite nice and personable. If you agree on quantity and price, they will send you an order or trade assurance on Alibaba. But be warned, Do not make any transaction off the site. When you receive the trade assurance, read it carefully and make sure the description matches what you agreed on, because if there is an issue, you can use it to file a complaint with Alibaba. If you are satisfied, you can proceed to make the payment, and Alibaba offers a wide variety of payment gateways, but my preferred platform is PayPal. If your country has some restriction on international transaction, there are third parties through which you can arrange your payment. I am not very familiar with these and I've never used them, so I can't tell you much about the process involved. Now, what about shipping? There are freight forwarders in China that receive people's order and aggregate them to make a full container and ship them to countries around the world. For container shipment, they usually charge per cubic meter. In my case, I use a freight forwarder owned and operated by some compatriots that ship containers from Foshan, China to Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. There are also large multinational companies that offer freight forwarding services, and you can search freight forwarders to country X directly on Alibaba to see what options are out there for you. So in my case, when I order on Alibaba, I give the seller the address of the freight forwarder and name and number of the person to call when the goods arrive in Burkina Faso. The seller packs the good, pastes the name and number of my contact person in Burkina Faso and writes destination Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso, and ship it to the forwarder in Foshan, China. Depending on where the seller is located, this can be free of charge. But in any case, it's usually not that expensive. It is important to add the destination because the freight forwarders send containers to multiple countries, so you don't want your goods to end up in the wrong container and go to the wrong country. In my case, I pay on arrival and it takes about 60 days to receive the goods in Ouagadougou. But that is because Burkina Faso is landlocked, so the container must first arrive in Ghana and then be transported by trucks to Ouagadougou. And it usually takes about 15 days before the goods are shipped from the seller to the freight forwarder. A big advantage is that the freight forwarder does all the custom clearance. So when I pick up the goods, I don't have to worry about doing any custom paperwork, which can be a very costly and cumbersome process. If it's a small parcel, you could opt for air freight, which is more expensive but faster. While sea freight charges by volume or cubic meter, air freight charges by weight. So if your parcel is small but heavy, you could opt for sea freight instead. I know it can be intimidating and scary to order from Alibaba, but don't be afraid. There is nothing to be afraid of. Alibaba presents a lot of advantages for entrepreneurs in Africa to acquire good and functioning equipment at a relatively low cost. And we must take advantage in order to increase our productivity. I have received all the goods I've ordered so far and they all work fine. The only major issue I've had so far is one of the incubators I ordered arrived damaged. But this was the freight forwarder's fault, not Alibaba or the seller. So this is it for this video. I hope you find it useful. Please give it a thumbs up if you did and don't forget to subscribe. So long and see you in the next video.